and welcome to this tutorial on the Boardous tuition platform. Boardous is an online tutoring platform and it has a whiteboard. It allows you to schedule your sessions, track transactions, generate lesson reports, and also create templates that you can bring into the whiteboard as and when you need them. So over here on the left hand side we have a toolbar. I just have my laser pointer selected at the moment. So over here you'll see I have all the tools you'd expect to see. We have a laser pointer, a pen tool, a highlighter, an eraser, text tool, an image and PDF insertion tool. And the good thing about the PDF is that it allows you to write on top of the PDF, and when you change pages those annotations stay on the PDF. And you can also export the PDF with the annotations as well if you want to send it to students or have a copy as a proof of evidence of work for your students. You can also do that. Then we have some smart shapes that you can, some shapes that you can insert, and an arrow that you can connect the shapes together and so forth if you want to, like a diagram. So when you move the shapes, the arrow stays connected. So you have your arrows. Then we have the cut and cut out tool where you can copy and paste, cut something from the screen and then paste it in as an image. And then moving down here to the I'm on the arrow selection tool. So moving down here, we have the slide sorter. So the slide sorter is basically where you can view all of your slides. So you can see here I have 24 slides. I can add a new slide here using this plus button, or I can navigate between them using the forward and the back button. Next to that we have insert template. So if you click on insert template, this basically allows you to create projects like the one that I'm currently in, and you can create them as templates so that you can import them into your projects when you're teaching your students. So all of these are templates that I've created previously. So I can just click on it and I can insert the template, or I can pick slides from that template in order to insert them into my project. So I've already done this, so I'm not going to do that now. But you'll see here when I'm clicking through, I have the objectives for the session. Then I have some knowledge page. Then I have, the alphabet. Then we have the first 7 letters. Moving on to drag and drop activity, so we can create that interactivity for the student. And then we can do things like I'll point to a letter and the student has to say them and they're out of order, so it breaks that pattern, that route, so they're not just doing it from memory. And then we have writing practice and then reading practice, and then we move on to the next stage. Okay, so these are this is basically how I create my templates and I work through them with the students. After that we have widgets, and we have a number of widgets, and we'll probably be adding many more over time. And we have things like person selector. So this allows you to input the students' names, and when you click the button, it will randomly select a student. We also have a similar one for questions and a similar one for a timer, for example. You can also keep scores for students and have multiple choice questions or true or false questions, etc. So the students can vote and answer what they think. The students can answer questions to put what they believe the answer should be. Now, an example of how these can work together and kind of help you create an interactive lesson is that you could have the person selector, the random question selector, and the timer all on one page. So you could randomly select a student, then randomly select a question, and then say you have 60 seconds to answer that question. So you can kind of try to gamify the experience a little bit just to make it a bit more interactive. And all of these are collaborative. So when you select a student, everyone will be able to see that the student was selected at random. Okay, next to that we have the breakout rooms. So you can create breakout rooms which are independent rooms where students can join and collaborate and work together. They work how breakout rooms tend to work. The audio and the videos are just specifically for those rooms, so one room can't hear another room, etc. And then moving here to the bottom right hand corner, we have zoom in, zoom out. So I'll just go to a slide here so this is a bit more obvious. I can zoom in, I can zoom out, I can click to this, make it 100%, or I can click to this, which is a standard slide. So this is an infinite canvas, so you can write anywhere. And maybe you get away from your content and you want to get back to it, you can scroll back to content. Or if you click on this is kind of like the home position, and it will take you back to that home position where you've designed your content. Moving over here to the top, we have invite guest. So this allows you to generate a quick link that you can send to somebody, and they can just open up the link, put in their username and request to join. The teacher is responsible for allowing that person into the classroom. But generally speaking, if you have your own area and you add the students to your area through invitation links, you can create a calendar event, and the student can just log in and click on that event in the calendar and join straight into the whiteboard. So the flow is much smoother if you have registered users. Next to that, we have the hand up tool. So if a student wants to speak, they can raise their hand, and then the teacher can call upon them. This is a really nice feature. The teacher can call upon a student. So if a student's muted, a box will appear and ask them to unmute themselves so that they can speak. But I can't demonstrate that now because I'm the only one in the project. And then if you click on this, this is where you can kind of have your user administration. So when users are connected, it will show them here. At the top, we have follow me. So this means wherever the teacher moves, if you move from one slide to another slide, the students will follow you. Likewise, if you move around your own slide, the students will follow you to your view as well. We have personal slides. Now, personal slides are a little bit different to the breakout rooms. A personal slide is an individual slide that every user that's connected gets, and they can use it as their own scrapbook or notebook where they can take notes, etc. But equally, if a teacher wants students to do work, you can basically send everyone to their personal slides, put in a worksheet, and everyone can work on it at their own pace. And this is quite good because we have two options here as well with the audio. You can keep the audio as it is so everybody in the classroom can hear each other. So if a student wants to speak and just say something, they can say, "Hey teacher," and the teacher can hear them. Or you can isolate the audio so that only the people on the personal slide can hear each other. So this basically means that when a teacher joins a personal slide, the other students can't hear them, so there's no disruption to them. And this is something which is configurable, which I'll show you shortly. So I'm just going to go back to the main whiteboard now, the main board, and you'll see here I can send all the students to the personal slide with this button. These are quick actions: mute all, turn all cameras off, dismiss all hands, stop all screen shares, etc. And then we have invite guest and project code. Moving over here to the top right hand corner, we have the microphone, so you can mute and unmute yourself. We have a camera, so you can switch it off and switch it back on again. And we also have screen sharing. Okay, so we have all of the functionality you would need. We also have an option to record the conference. And over here on the right hand side, we have toggle chat. So this allows you to basically have send messages to the students. And this is also accessible from the website without being logged into the whiteboard. So the students can see the messages that you post here. So if you tell them what the homework is or something like that, they should be able to view that from outside the project as well as from inside the project as well. So I'm just going to hide that away again. Over here, we have toggle side panel. So this is the camera panel. I can hide it and bring it back. We also have floating cameras, so I can drag myself out of here and then I can hide the panel and have my camera on screen. And if I close it, the camera goes back to the floating panel. And I guess you're all thinking the same thing at this point. All of these features seem great, but how would you manage your students if they start to mess around with these features? So we have these project settings over here where you can do things like lock the chat so the students can't talk. You can hide the toolbar. You can disable the cameras. You can disable the microphone. You can disable the personal slides and so forth. Now, the good thing about this is that you can configure these settings outside of the whiteboard for your entire environment. So every time you create a project, the students will join, and when they join, the settings will be the ones that you set outside. Okay. So this is a quick overview. And over down here as well, you have things like screen sharing. You can make it on request for students so they have to request it. Likewise with the follow me feature. And we have the peer-to-peer and media server connection. So this is required for recording. It's also required to have a large number of students in the classroom. So this is a quick overview. As you can see, we have a lot of functionality, a lot of features. And this is just the whiteboard. As I mentioned, you can schedule your lessons in the calendar. You can generate lesson reports, and you can also track transactions. So when a teacher creates a lesson report, it would automatically credit the teacher's account and debit the student's account. We don't take payments, so this is something which has to be managed by the tutor, but it allows you to track all of those transactions just so you can kind of manage your tutoring business much more easily. And this is set up at the moment for individual tutors and also small organizations. So if you create all the content and you have a way of doing things, you could move on to the organizational plan. And within the organizational plan, you could have 5 teachers, many more students, and you can basically schedule the sessions for the teachers and the students so they just log in, teach them, and then create the lesson reports and the transactions are automatically generated. And it just allows you to create the templates and share them amongst your tutors so they can just bring them in and teach as and when they need them. Thank you for watching this. I would love your feedback. You can come and test Boardous for free at www.boardous.com. You can create your free account, you can create a project, you can invite a guest, and you can test it out and see what you think. And I'd love to hear your feedback. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you all soon.